Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to another week in HI402. The focus is on electronic health records, EHRs, data flow, and we're going to touch a little bit on Microsoft Excel. Um, I'm not exactly sure how many of you would say you're comfortable with Excel. I think the answer is all over the place. You're going to be doing some Excel stuff in this class, which is just going to be um, exceedingly important, not just for what you take out of this, but also just future use. And of course, this week you also have your first quiz. Please check out the short YouTube video that's associated with the quiz in the quizzes section. Okay, so the at the heart of where data is stored in our healthcare system, we come to EHRs, electronic health systems, which is really meant to store patient health information. It's the digital record. I'm not sure if any of you remember paper records. There are still offices. My dentist office, amazingly, still has copies of paper records, although it has a incredible digital EHR. Um, but they still keep the paper records. I think they're going to run out of room soon. This really was an impetus for HIPAA, um, Health Information or Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Um, really, the passing of this act really started the process, which is the portability, the P, of moving patient information, patient data from a paper-based to an electronic-based. So we can thank HIPAA for something, the initiation. But what it really does is, again, it's the real-time access and care coordination, which integrates all kinds of different things. Now, my sense is some of you have experience with this, whether it be in a long-term care facility, in acute care. But since we all have phones and you're probably very close, at least 5 feet away from your phone, I think many of us or people that we are related to also have our patient information on our phone through patient portals, which is a connective arm of the electronic health record, which means you and I can pull up the notes or medications or lab results as well. My physician sends me sometimes imaging results. Now he texts it to me. It's my information coming from him to me, so that's perfectly fine, and I ask for it. And he has no problem. It's sending it. I still can't understand it because I'm not a clinician. Um, but it also begs the question that other forms of communication that we're used to, comfortable with, and have full access to, health information can be shared this way. But an EHR is meant to be secure and connects different entities together. The core functions of the EHR, number one is always a storage site, but it really has three main areas. Clinical documentation. So, documentation by all kinds of clinicians, from the nurses who are taking care of patients at the bedside to a pharmacist, all kinds of things. Order entry is where providers, doctors, nurse practitioners, or whoever else can order certain things, a test, an exam, a procedure. So you need a medical order to enact certain things. That includes an order to admit someone to the hospital. Um, we're most familiar with e-prescribing because that connects the electronic health record to outside entities as well, your CVS or Walgreens. And again, HIPAA really promoted that. That was one of the huge one of the first things that HIPAA actually launched. I'm going back to HIPAA because, well, quite honestly, today I gave a short presentation to a group of students, clinical students at USI, and they all had to take a HIPAA test to get into their program. They understood that they can't violate it, but that's about it. I can't share information. I can't share data, or I'll get in trouble. We're going to spend some time diving into sort of the deeper end of HIPAA. Um, Clinical decision support alerts. Um, it is very much like alarms that we set but these are automatically done. Think about if your credit card is being used without your authority, you'll get all kinds of flags from the credit card company because they know your patterns. They might also know that you're not in a different country, but your credit card's being used. That's what these alerts are. They're warnings if there's conflicts between different medications based on the diagnosis. So that's an automated function, which makes things so much easier to memorize. And care summaries for health information exchanges. So we'll talk about that just in a few minutes. But the core functions are really the top three. In addition to the main EHR, there's lots of supporting information technology systems, which sometimes have to be added on because they are specific. The lab world and the radiology world is radically different than um, and what's necessary and the depth of information with the different codes needs to be connected to. Now, some electronic health records have a built-in lab and radiology system. Others you have to sort of purchase. It's almost like an extension to your home or something like that. On the backside, because all entities want to get paid, the bills go out. They all go out electronically. A claim and a bill are tied together, but it has to be connected to the prescriber's notes and making sure that what was done, what was said was done. Connecting to that are larger scale population health and analytics tools. A little bit later, we're going to review one, and that could be internal to the organization or outside. Now, speaking about outside, I want to introduce you if you're not aware to a health information exchange, and you can see the last bullet point here. I'm going to ask you just um, after we're done with this slide, just pause on this YouTube video, open up another browser, and search for the Indiana Health Information Exchange. It is, and I would say proudly, one of the best state health exchanges in the nation. Um, and the whole idea behind it is to serve as a connector, to connect patient health information from all kinds of entities, from a public health department to different hospitals that maybe have different EHRs, as we do in the Evansville area, um, to perhaps even a different urgent care center. So as individuals go from place to place to place, or maybe even a long-term care facility, their health information can be in one place under a common language. Remember, I spoke about a common currency. Well, the problem is that currencies are different with these different health EHRs. So if there was a common currency, one that anyone could read, that would be helpful. Um, HIEs do this, and that makes it easier for individuals as they go to an emergency department. And if their information is available through a health information exchange, can the clinicians pull it up and say, oh, you were there, you were somewhere else, last month, and you had these tests already, and they reveal this. We're not there yet, but there's a lot of promise. And I'll tell you that Most of the healthcare entities in the Indianapolis area are part of the Indiana Health Information Exchange, which is excellent. It's more excellent for the residents of Marion County. Now, the rest of the state, it's a little more challenging. Um, and so it works by sort of having that structured data, common currency. It's a common language. And it's meant to be real time. So, as a provider, a doctor, a nurse practitioner, or a PA enters information, can flow into the health information exchange and maybe be translated into that different language. And so there's all kinds of different things that happen. It's a absolutely wonderful idea. Um, but there's some challenges, and the biggest challenge is that EHRs are expensive, and each entity pays quite a bit of money and pays to support that EHR. And just to give away the patient data, which of course is, masked, just like our credit card information is masked. We use it all over the place. We use it online. We use it in person. And although it is certainly possible to nab that and steal that data, it's a lot harder than it used to be. A lot harder. And so HIPAA does play into this because we want information to remain private and confidential and secure. And so please check out the Indiana Health Information Exchange. It's a wonderful resource right here. The last slide that I'm going to, that's the last two slides, maybe last, yeah, last, is really to talk about Excel. Um, and So Microsoft Excel, which all of you have access to, some of you might have used, some more extensively than others, is the easiest, the most powerful, and the cleanest tool to use for data. For our purposes, it's the most common tool for analysis, and we'll talk about data cleaning, and you'll be doing this in some of your tasks, including pivot tables. But it's also a wonderful resource to visualize trends. Um, Data is boring and hard to actionalize, but we can tell a lot more when it's visual to make decisions. And so Excel is probably the most essential tool, and we will be focusing on that in this class. Um, it is every day I hear from alumni that our students at USI have to be somewhat proficient, not masters at it, but if you have a proficiency in Excel, you will be ahead. Now, if some of you don't, I wouldn't rush to drop this class. Um, there are lots of tools that you can use for free. I would probably stay away from YouTube because it's a little too general. I'm not sure if how many of you are on LinkedIn. I would highly recommend that if you're not, you join LinkedIn, establish a profile, and then you'll have access to professional information to sort of launch your Excel portfolio. We are going to use it in this class. And so there'll be some tools that I share with you and specific to understanding data. Okay, so just as a reminder, the quiz is also up and it will cover the first 2 weeks of content. Please check out the YouTube video associated with that. Let me know if you have any questions in relation to this content, though. Thanks very much. Bye.